somehow.
Yes, my Straight Talk family, you hear that theme song and you should know that it is time for another edition of Straight Talk, and time for me to say good night or greetings to the world, because we are on the World Wide Web and we reach you and try to communicate with you wherever you are on this globe. And we're coming from the beautiful federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, 2 islands and 1 lovely paradise. So I am duty bound, I'm sure you'll understand, for me to say good night, St. Kitts and Nevis, and good night to the entire Caribbean region. And as I say, I say greetings, as I said, to the world, Because we are on the World Wide Web, and we reach and touch you, we reach and communicate with you in the different indication, division, and Caribbean diaspora all across the globe. And some of you are in Africa. There's some of you in Europe. There's some of you in Asia. And there are a whole lot of you all over North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. And I will say good morning. I will also say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. And if you're a first timer, we say welcome to this edition of Straight Talk, and trust and hope it would not be your last time. And if someone shared that link with you, we are grateful for those who continue to share the link. Please don't just stop, because we like to have first timers. And for the first timers in particular, just to inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free, underline free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, you do have a forum to express yourselves freely. On this program, we try as well to raise the level of national, or raise the level of consciousness, I should say, regional, national, and international consciousness. We try to raise the level of discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And as your host, I pledge each time to remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness. And I'm always reminded of the words of a favorite hymn of mine, written by Thomas Jackson and Franz Haydn. And an excerpt goes something like this: we are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and right, standing firm for godly justice, bringing evil things to light. So let us seek the courage needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we all may know the blessings or blessing of the doing of God's will. And my Straight Talk family, I will always hasten to add as well that on this forum, nothing is watered down. To make it more interesting, neither by omission or by exaggeration. Straight Talk is not about sensationalism or creating excitement, especially at the expense of accuracy, because we lean on the facts, as it is my bounden duty to present what I call the unvarnished truth, the plain truth, especially when it comes to governance in St. Kitts and Nevis and wherever you are in the world. Because this program joins us together with people across the Federation, and we are joined with people in the diaspora around the world. And some we know very well and have met physically and otherwise. Some we have just met spiritually. Others we do not know, and many we will never meet. And some of us will agree with the positions of truth advanced on this forum. And on Straight Talk, some will disagree. And that's okay, because we are a different people and we promote a diversity of views. But please do not sadden me and start to become disagreeable. In the meanwhile, let's thank Almighty God for helping us to understand, oh, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. I just therefore hope and pray for the day when we will all sing his praise together. So welcome again, my people, and thanks for those who share the link. As you bring first-timers, please continue to do so. We want to spread the word all over in every nook and cranny, as we say. And my Straight Talk family, and for the first-timers in particular, Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls at some stage in the program and your emails. And if you're so minded, call in. The numbers are on your screen, 663-6672. That's the local number. Or 646-829-6672. That's an overseas number. There's some of you who like what I call the cloak of anonymity. So we give you access via our email platform, and that address is Straight Talk Patches. That's one word, STRAIGHTTALKPATCHES @gmail.com. Some of you have the Alexa app, and we are also heard live on that app. Just say, Alexa, play Massive Vibes Radio. My brother would get you connected. And we do get connected to Alexa at a nominal cost. As I mentioned, cost, some of you have made donations to support our efforts here on Straight Talk. And for that, I say a big, big thank you. I must also reassure you that your contribution helps us to continue this important service. And it's a public service, yes. Others who may wish to donate can simply scan the code on your screen to access a payment form. Very simple, confidential process. We don't know your business. We just accept your donations, and we say thank you again for your support and for helping us to keep the dialogue alive. And there will never be a show if I do not recognize our Straight Talk Junior Brigade. Young Dwayne, Tristan, Shamar, Kevin, Rue, Jamal, Travis, Travon, Neymar, that's my grandson, and his good friend Soraya. And of course, I must hail that special lady in St. Louis. And can't forget the Queen over there in Texas. We normally start with our observations in review. At this point, we highlight current issues, we do some reflection, we may ask a few questions, and then we examine what was accomplished, how it helped others, what changed, and since we last spoke, and what is expected next, what new we have learned as a people. So Straight Talk is about learning. It's a learning process. And after our observations and review, and this is just for the first timers in particular, we will begin our thesis for tonight, which I have titled Tief from Tief in the St. Kitts Nevis CBI, and make God laugh. So please don't change that platform. Don't change your link. Just spread the word that Straight Talk is live on social media, YouTube, Facebook, and Alexa. And I want to start on with some sad news. It's about the passing of a stalwart and brother, Terry Adams. My job at Shipping Agents Delil Wallen and Company Limited moons ago, many moons ago, connected me very early in life with Terry, who worked back then as a young man on the customs launch. Terry and I even got closer or a closer connection, I should say. When I became a football referee, soccer referee, he was then my senior. Those who went to Warner Park would know no-nonsense referee Terry Adams. But more importantly was the closeness we developed on the streets when we stood shoulder to shoulder to protest against the wrong things that were going on in our country under the Douglas Labour Party. And I remember back in 2015 when Terry celebrated a team unity victory.
I am happy, so happy that we won this election. For 2 years, I campaigned on the radio, on the street, among the people. I was adamant that what Douglas is doing to this country was wrong.
Yes, I remember. He was adamant, as he said, that what Douglas was doing to the people was wrong. I recall appointing Terry to the board of directors of the St. Christopher Area Sports Authority when I got that portfolio, that subject, as a member of cabinet, a minister of government, minister of transport to be exact. And I selected Terry not because of his politics, but because of his vast experience in customs and excise. And I say, yes, he was surprised. But little that he know, I personally witnessed his upward mobility from a crew member on the customs launch to an assistant controller of customs. Yes, that's no mean feat. So I knew that Terry had a lot to contribute to port development in St. Kitts and Nevis. I can hear him now with 2 of his favorite words, border and security. Or he would always talk about border security. He would always promote border security. And Terry was quite familiar with customs and excise. He was familiar with the governmental policies and procedures involved in the control of taxation of goods moving across international borders. I know he was very annoyed that his expertise was not tapped into by the authorities in his government he campaigned so hard for. But Terry believed in what he believed and never compromised his position. So on behalf of Straight Talk and my own behalf, I extend condolences to his entire family, his children and his sisters, who are all left to mourn his loss. May the soul of our departed brother Terry Adams rest in eternal peace. Only today I learned as well of the passing of Lawrenston Jenkins. We know him as Bobo. I recall when they lived on the Bay Road there, where we had this drink factory, his father. But I learned of his passing just today. And unfortunately for me, his funeral service was yesterday, which I was told about today. So I'm compelled to convey profound sympathy, although belatedly, to his wife Fema from up at Sebastian Street, and all his children, including Shamari, which tells me I have not popped by there in Market Street for a long time to get me some lovely fried fish, Shamari. But to all your brothers as well, we extend sincere condolences to you, the passing of a father, a brother, a grandfather. And notwithstanding all that I said, may his soul rest in eternal peace. Just to let you know, all who are mourning at this time, that death is a process. We can say anything, but it's one thing for sure, as Jimmy Cliff would say, he who feels it knows it. Only he who feels it knows it. And I'll advance just one observation tonight, my Straight Dog family. I want to spend some time on my thesis tonight, which is of maximum importance to our federation. And my observation relates to Monday's edition of Straight Talk, when we address part of the findings of a recent poll. And many were surprised of the low ratings of the incumbent St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party and its leader Terence Michael Drew. We spoke as well about the hiding, the concealing of the World Bank's fair share report. And I am almost certain that this document is being hidden because it reflects that Nevis, especially under Team Unity, was treated well and is being treated well, because this new administration has not changed the $66 million subsidy, or $66 million, let me be careful about that, the $66 million share of the revenue that we collect. And without that $5.5 million, Mark Brantley won't be able to pay his civil servants. But they're hiding that report for obvious reasons. But when I look at the decisions made by Terence Michael July in housing, for example, many have concluded, I was speaking to a good friend of mine today, who also concluded that this Labour Party has to be the dumbest government, and Terence Michael Drew, the dumbest leader ever that Labour has had. First of all, to bring East Coast housing development from Trinidad and Tobago. Never built a Falcub, but he pumped $27 million into that company instead of pumping $27 million into the local economy. By hiring local contractors, he pumped the money into Brian Singh's East Coast housing development, who has absconded. He's run away. And the slow student Jeffrey Hanley, or the Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin, have not told the country what has happened to East Coast housing development and what has happened to the $27 million guarantee and mobilization that East Coast housing development was paid.
As you know, as a country, we engage the East Coast housing development in assisting us in delivering some homes. Unfortunately, the 600 homes that we were anticipating, with all of the challenges that we might have been experiencing, not us so much as a government, but the investor, that has caused some delays. These matters are being worked on, and what I said to the Federation is that based on the contractual arrangement that we would have signed, the AG office, of course, is working on ensuring that the government's interest, which it is protected. But because of the delay, we have not lost any money as a government.
Such a lie, my Street Dog family. But the Attorney General, for months, has remained mum. But so dumb, respectfully, is this government. The dumbest we have ever had, with so many experts within the cabinet. But they have not learned from their mistake with East Coast housing development. And have gone now out of desperation, it seems. And the CBI has now given US $10 million to a man in Dubai to build low-income houses. But if what I outlined above is not dumb enough, Joe is now adding $300 million to Nevis's or Mark Brantley's debt in Nevis of $700 million. Imagine, you and I in St. Kitts will have to pay higher taxes to accommodate a few rich foreign persons in Nevis who want to land their private jets at the Vance Amory International Airport. Mark must help us to make sense of this. Why increase the national debt to allow your rich friends, your rich foreign friends, to land their private jets in Nevis? When comes once or twice per week at times to Nevis. Liat and Caribbean Airways don't come any longer. Cape Air, Trans-Anguilla have one and sometimes no flights per week. Well, if the airport was busy with flights, landing, I could understand Mark would have some hope to get returns on the millions he's about to spend on the airport in Nevis and increase his humongous debt for divisions and petitions to pay. The Hamilton Hotel in Nevis is always full, I'm told, and most of their guests drive to Reggae Beach, board a sea taxi, and come to Nevis. I understand now Belmont is being constructed over there in Nevis, and that would not increase the utilization factor at the Vance Amory International Airport. So I can't help but saying respectfully, it is dumb, economically absurd to spend $300 million in Nevis just to accommodate Mark Brantley's billionaire friends. My Street Dog family, when Drahi goes to Paris, to France, where he resides, he parks his jet at the airport in Paris and he drives hours to get home. So why the hell he wants to land his expensive jet directly on Vance Amory International Airport and put us in all these expenses? Dumbness to the heights. And that's my observation for tonight, my Street Dog family. And I'll move right into my thesis, which I've said I have titled Tief from Tief in the SKN-CBI and Make God Laugh. And my Street Dog family, within the CBI, there is an endless cycle of political and financial corruption, where one government robs the people, then another comes to power promising reform but does the same or worse. And when those corrupt forces turn on each other or get exposed, it's not justice from the people but a dark comedy of greed, one that even God finds laughable. This is a powerful and thought-provoking reflection that touches on deep issues of governance, economics, and national identity in St. Kitts and Nevis, especially surrounding the Citizenship by Investment CBI program. It is a cautionary reflection on the CBI and our national wealth. Many of us, I'm sure, recall growing up here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Our elders had a way of putting things into perspective, using simple but powerful proverbs. One such saying that rings true today is "Tief from Tief and make God laugh." And this reminds me of something that popular TikToker, I call her, Kendra, recently said that went viral. Remember, Kendra said this, my Straight Dog family.
Hard like tongue house went. So I prefer the thief that she away, no? I don't know what ministers running up in there for right now, because let me tell you, by the time this labor done with the government and the money pot, nothing will be there. They're empty. The pot will be empty. What are you going to fill it with? You're going out, but really more investors got tell lies and all kind of thing to accumulate the money and run well with the money in all kind of offshore account and all kind of thing to come give us excuse again. It's one bad experience we having after the other. So the best thing I say, let me bring back the thief for the sharing. Thief is thief, but let me bring back the one with the sharing, because all you ain't sharing nothing.
Yes, with no semblance of doubt, Kendra is recommending that we bring back the thief that was sharing. And both statements might sound humorous at first, but they reflect a serious cultural truth, one that speaks volumes about times, or about the times that we are living in. Our elders understood complexity through experience. The younger generation, however, often seeks the quickest route, the shortest explanation, what I call at times metric thinking. It's efficiency over ethics, simplicity over scrutiny. And this generational divide becomes especially clear when we examine something like our Citizenship by Investment program, the oldest in the world, often touted as the platinum brand. But platinum for whom, you may ask? Because my Straight Dog family, for over 40 years now, we have had this program in place. And despite its long history, the distribution of wealth generated from our passport sales remains inexplicably unfair, tilted away from the government, and by extension, tilted away from the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Examine the economics of our passport. Let's just break it down. The government owns the passport, a national asset, but instead of managing its sales directly, it outsources the process to developers, marketing agents, lawyers, accountants, and other intermediaries who all make far more than the government itself. Here's the typical breakdown, my Straight Dog family. Here is the typical breakdown. A single passport, my Straight Dog family, a single CBI passport for the public benefit option, let's use that as an example. It's sold at, for the main applicant, $250,000. The government receives 10% of that amount per applicant for fees. That might increase to around 24%, if the applications are for a family of 4, for example, my straight dog family, perhaps I should post this other issue of our fees. Maybe I should post this one, which explains a little better for us. All the government gets, my straight dog family, are the fees. The main applicant pays $25,000. So if it's one applicant, it's $25,000. And if we have a spouse, will pay $15,000, and each qualified dependent under 18 would get $10,000. And in addition to that, there's a due diligence fee of US $10,000. That don't go to the government, obviously, for the main applicant, and the US $7,500 for each dependent of the main applicant who is over the age of 16 years, my straight dog family. So we understand how the fees are disposed. Meanwhile, advisors like CS Global receive $10,000 US per application, and there was a special arrangement for the public benefit option, which was then the alternative investment option, of $5,000 per approved application. It tells us then, for 5,500 applications, that means CS Global went laughing to the bank with US $28 million paid by the government. But here's the jaw dropper, I call it. The private developers and investors walked away with over $1.3 billion US. How can that be, my straight dog family? This isn't oil, which would require drilling, refining, transporting, and of course other labor. Our passport doesn't need a refinery. It's produced through a simple, secure printing process, mostly managed and done by the Canadian banknote. So why does the lion's share of revenue from this national asset go outside the hands of the government? Is the CBI system built for exploitation? Some may say it's just business. But when you zoom out, the structure begins to look a lot like exploitation, or at best, a poorly negotiated deal. The imbalance has been allowed to persist for over 4 decades. Concerns about money laundering and corruption, fraud are not new. In 2006, my straight dog family, the US State Department flagged serious vulnerabilities in its annual International Narcotics Control Strategy Report. And we provide you the evidence. Here's an excerpt from that report, my straight dog family. The INCSR report, my straight dog family. And just look to the bottom or final paragraph, to the bottom right of your screen. And it says, jurisdictions moving from the concern column to the primary concern column: Afghanistan, Guatemala, and St. Kitts and Nevis. My straight dog family, this is dated 2006. Look at your left hand to the top, dated 2006. Investigative voices like Kenneth Ridjock, a former banking lawyer turned money launderer turned compliance officer, raised red flags about the program's due diligence and misuse. Was it a sham? made up for the purpose of raising capital? Is one of the questions he asks my Straight Talk family. What do you think?
Over the years, the program has evolved. Started out, frankly, in a very primitive manner, and I guess it was really a work in progress. And it's really only been, I'd say, in about the past 15 years that it has taken off. A lot of people will come to you and say, well, hey, in the beginning, they only had a few people here and a few people there. Well, that may be the case, but I invite everybody watching this program to go on my blog and read all the articles of all the individuals who bought St. Kitts passports, who were all foreign nationals, and who all ended up as arrested and convicted career criminals, sanctions evaders, people involved in terrorist financing, and people involved in all sorts of nasty career white-collar crime. There's a long and sordid history from 1983 to 2025 of all of these dodgy individuals who all seem to qualify for the St. Kitts passport, which leads one to ask, was there ever really any due diligence, or was this whole thing just a sham made up for the purposes of raising capital?
And these were questions my Straight Talk family asked way back. And yet here we are in 2025, still asking the same questions. Until 2022, St. Kitts and Nevis Citizenship through Investment Program offered 2 investment forms. Donation of $150,000 to the Sustainable Growth Fund. Real estate investment minimum of $200,000. A new and third investment option was introduced by the government in 2022, called the Alternative Investment Option, AIO, to be able to invest capital, it said, without more debt or existing limits. The objective was to finance projects that were not on government's infrastructure list. Moreover, under the public good project developer option, an investor or investors were expected to complete the project and, of course, generate a reasonable return on their investment. Later, the investor would turn over the project to the government in a maintained condition. The first project financed under the AIO was a correctional facility, more popularly known as the prison project, which Straight Talk can report is still being undertaken or developed by Caribbean Galaxy. And what is the disposition of that project as we speak? We don't know. The government is silent. But the alternative investment option, which was renamed the public benefit option on the change of government in 2022, still has 2 categories, according to the official site of the St. Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment Unit, the CIU. The public good project developer, where the state still receives ownership after the end of the agreement. The minimum upfront paid of $250,000. And the additional fees follow the real estate option, which I showed you earlier. The $25, the $15,000, and the $10,000. $25,000, beg your pardon, the $15,000, and the $10,000 each if there's a family of 4. The private enterprise developer, where the project and its assets will continue as personal property. In this case, the minimum amount of investment was $200,000. This seemed to have been replaced by the private real estate investment option, which allows investors to purchase either a condominium unit, share in a designated real estate development for a minimum investment of $325,000, or a single-family private home designated as approved private real estate for a minimum of $600,000. But where do we go from here? We ask. Straight Talk submits that there must be a better model, one where the government retains a greater share of the revenue, one where the people benefit more directly from the sale of their own national identity, one where the intermediaries are held accountable, one where transparency and oversight are embedded in every level of the process. Because if our national passport, a symbol of sovereignty, can be sold off with such ease and the returns so poorly distributed, what else might we be giving away? It is time to reclaim ownership of the CBI narrative, not just to make it fair, but to make it right. The United States of America gave us 60 days to put our house in order or possibly face a travel ban on the country. How many days are left? We ask my Straight Talk family. Not much. Not much at all, I can assure you.
Just following up on that, there was a deadline given for these 36 countries tomorrow to come up with their action plan. I wonder if you've heard back.
No, that's incorrect. I can just tell you that that's not correct. The fact is that they will have a considerable amount of time to rectify whatever the situation is that the State Department is determined is affecting the nature of our trust in how we issue a visa.
How much more time is left, we ask. I told you earlier about Kendra, whose words struck a chord across the Federation. Bring back the thief that she is, she begged. Many chuckled at these words, but they are not jokes. They are cultural reflections of something much deeper. A growing feeling that our wealth, our sovereignty, and our future have for decades been sold off, and the people are the last to benefit. When we break it down, the reality is shameful. The government, our government, owns the passport, yet after all is said and done, we end up with just a tiny fraction of the money it sells for. We hand the passport, our birthright, to developers, agents, and so-called advisors to sell on our behalf. Meanwhile, the investor makes hundreds of millions. The marketing agent collects fat fees. The lawyers, like some young lawyers right now in St. Kitts, make millions. The government and the people get crumbs. And let me be clear, this is not a matter of ideology. This is a matter of accountability and national dignity. But there's a system of secrecy, not service, and this did not start yesterday. Under the Douglas administration, the Sugar Industry Diversification Fund was introduced as an alternative to direct investment in real estate. And what did we see? Douglas recently laid this claim a few months ago, my Straight Talk family. He said this, my Straight Talk family.
I remember well what it was like when, as Prime Minister, I recognized that we would have to chart a stable and sustainable path forward once it became clear that the sugar agricultural economy and country could no longer be the mainstay of St. Kitts and Nevis. Those were quite tumultuous times globally. But I was determined to put in place the policies and the guardrails to ensure that, firstly, we established new avenues of economic activity and growth, whilst ensuring, secondly, that there was zero social upheaval, zero political instability, and zero domestic tumult. In fact, it is because of those concerns that we created what has now become famous as the Sugar Industry Diversification Foundation, the SIDF.
Famous, my Straight Dog family, he said. Famous, the SIDF. But between 2006 and 2013, thousands of passports were sold to foreign nationals with no direct investment in the country's economy. Worse yet, this option did not route the money through the consolidated fund, meaning Parliament had no control whatsoever and the people had no visibility over how the money was spent. Contrary to what Douglas said back then, he refused to report to the Parliament on the SIDF, citing it was a private fund belonging to a private foundation.
The SIDF funds, the Sugar Industry Diversification Foundation funds, are not government funds. These are funds that belong to a private foundation.
That's what he said back then, my Street Dog family. It's not government funds. But he forgot. But this opened the door to corruption, lack of transparency, and international scrutiny. Canada, the USA, and the United Kingdom raised serious security concerns about our program. Fears that illicit actors were slipping through the cracks. And what happened? Remember, in 2014, my Straight Dog family, then Minister of Foreign Affairs, Patrice Nisbet, told the Federation of the security concerns raised by Canada. Nisbet said this:
Canada is an important ally, an ally of long standing. Your government values the strong relations which over the years Canada and St. Kitts and Nevis have built. Canada has important security concerns. The government recognizes this, and the government of St. Kitts and Nevis shall do all in its power to respect and accommodate the concerns of so an important ally.
That was back in 2014. My Straight Dog family, the rest is history, as we lost our visa-free access to Canada. St. Kitts and Nevis was then blacklisted by FinCEN. My Straight Dog family. And that too was damaging. That too, my Straight Dog family, was damaging. Here's the FinCEN advisory. My Straight Dog family. Read the final paragraph on the right of your screen there. Let's read it together. While many countries offer programs similar to the St. Kitts Nevis Citizenship by Investment Program, the St. Kitts Nevis program is attractive to illicit actors because the program, as administered, maintains less controls as to who may be granted citizenship. While the St. Kitts Nevis government, has publicly pledged to improve these controls, FinCEN believes that they remain ineffective. For example, in 2013, the St. Kitts Nevis government announced that all Iranian nationals were suspended from participating in the St. Kitts Nevis Citizenship by Investment Program. Despite this public assurance, FinCEN believes that Iranian nationals continue to obtain passports issued through the program. As a result of these lax controls, illicit actors including individuals intending to use the secondary citizenship to evade sanctions, can obtain and St. Kitts Nevis passport with relative ease, my Straight Dog family. And these were serious blows. The visa-free access withdrawn and the FinCEN advisory. Serious blows not just to our passport, but to our global credibility. But there was a new name. But eventually, they played the same game. And then came the Harris-led Team Unity Administration that introduced the alternative investment option, AIU, mentioned earlier. The idea sounded good. Allowed investors to fund national projects. But the execution, we must all agree, with the greatest respect, was disastrous. You called it a criminal project, or he called it criminal, my Straight Dog family. He said it was crime to raise $2 billion under this project.
The prison project alone is providing $2 billion. Big scandal. Over $2 billion. That is a crime. That is a crime. Somebody needs to be brought to the court for that. It is not right that something like that should happen.
It was a crime. The disgraced Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin referred to the same project as a scam. His documents were used as evidence in court. A good scam, he called it. Yet despite the bold declaration, Prime Minister Drew was advised by the same Garth Lucifer Wilkin, his AG, not to cancel the project, which he called a crime, while in opposition. Why? Is a question that has not been answered. What pressure, what contracts, what interests made it so that a project branded as a scam, branded as criminal, was allowed to continue? My Straight Dog family, in 2022, the government changed. And for the past 3 years, it has been the Jew administration's turn. It's their turn now. We now have, as mentioned earlier, the public benefit option introduced by Prime Minister Drew. Once again, the intent on the surface may appear to be noble. Use passport money to fund public projects like the new Bastia High School, the Robert Nobel and Bradshaw Airport expansion, the Prime Creative Arts Center, and recently announced housing project. But here's the grave concern. For these capital projects of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, a public benefactor was identified. Public benefactors, they will sell our assets, our passports. In all the cases cited above, the people have been told about contractors, but not one contractor was named publicly. And further, the Procurement and Administration Act was totally ignored and deliberately circumvented. This, I submit, is criminal behavior by the Jew Labor Administration. All the public benefactors are foreigners. Foreigners, not citizens. Foreigners being approved as the ones to profit from projects meant to benefit the people. And what do the people get? No share in ownership, no seat at the table, no guarantee that the money enters the consolidated fund, where your elected representatives can account for it. The Jew Labor Administration must be on a corruption frolic. That's why it is withholding information from the people. It's time, my people, to proclaim or to reclaim what is rightfully ours. My fellow citizens, this is not a this is not a sovereign country, this is not how, I should say, a sovereign country behaves. This is not how we should treat our national identity. Our passport is not a product. Our passport is not a product. It is a promise of who we are and who we can become. We must demand a new formula, one where every dollar from the sale of a passport enters the consolidated fund, accountable to Parliament, transparent to the public. One where the government earns more than the middleman, not less. Local people, not just foreign developers, can benefit from and invest in national projects. National security, global credibility, and public trust must be restored. We must modernize, yes, but not by cutting corners or selling ourselves short. In closing, my Straight Dog family, we are a small nation, but we are not a weak nation. We are not for sale. We are not a playground for the rich. We are not a bank account for the connected. Let's fix the CBI program. Let's restore dignity to our passport. Let's make sure that every cent earned through this program builds roads, builds schools, build or rehabilitate our hospitals, and builds futures for our people. Let's just put our people first and finally take back what belongs to us. Selling a national asset privately is a public oxymoron. Yes, we are told a passport is a national asset, something that belongs to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. But today, the public asset is being sold by private foreign benefactors, and the money ends up in a bank in Dubai or Singapore or London, anywhere but in the consolidated fund or of our own government. We can call it public benefit, but private investors collect the profits. We say it's a government program, but government receives 10 to 20 cents on the dollar, while foreign developers resell our citizenship under the legislated price. Isn't that the very definition of contradiction? It's like privatizing public money, letting others sell what belongs to the people, while the people are left behind. And we gave you the breakdown, my Straight Dog family, of what the government gets for its fees. This oxymoron didn't begin today. It began with the Douglas administration. And the problem was outlined. He called it the private foundation. This was the beginning of a new dangerous reality. Public money sold off as private. The structure enabled shadow deals, secret transactions, and no real accountability to the people. The result? Failed projects, my Straight Dog family. Eyesores along our main corridors. We can list them one by one, my Straight Dog family. Look at this failed project. Look at this other failed project, my Straight Dog family. And look at this project going into the Frigate Bay area. Isn't this an embarrassment? Look at this, the pirate's nest. Lavish spending by some ministers of government. Growing distrust among the population. And eventually, as I told you, blacklisting by the US Treasury and the loss of visa-free access to Canada. We got it back. And what did that do? It tainted our passport, our reputation, and ultimately led to the political demise of the Douglas Labour administration, brought down by the very contradiction it created. But the same contradiction remains. Public projects like the ones I mentioned, locals are excluded from the profit pool. Revenue is not transparently going into the consolidated fund. So tell me, is this public benefit or public betrayal? Fellow citizens, We cannot continue like this. This passport belongs to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, not developers in Dubai, not consultants in London, not law firms in Singapore. We need a new deal. One where 100% of passport revenue flows through the consolidated fund, where the government, the representative of the people, sets the rules and keeps the revenue, where no private person or foreign entity earns more than the people themselves, where local entrepreneurs and citizens are included in nation-building projects, not left watching from the sidelines. We must end this public-private shell game, where the national asset pays everyone except the people it belongs to. My friends, our passport is more than a commodity. It is a commitment to values, to security, and to citizenship. It must be a passport of purpose and not a passport of profit. If we are to call ourselves a sovereign nation, then we must act like one. Let's just stop being ashamed of our success and start being proud of our integrity. Let's just fix the CBI program. Let's just bring transparency into the program for once. Let's just protect the consolidated fund and the treasury. And let us finally ensure that this passport is true owner, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. I told you from the beginning about the saying I heard growing up. One many of you will remember from your own parents and grandparents. Tief from Tief, make God laugh. It sounds funny at first, but today, in 2025, it perfectly captures the heartbreaking truth of what's happening in our country. We laugh, so we don't cry. Because while foreign developers and self-proclaimed benefactors walk away with millions, the people of this federation are left with crumbs. Crumbs, and worse, with the burden of suspicion, scandal, and international shame. Our passport is a national asset. It is not oil, as I said before. It is not gold, but it is ours. A symbol of identity, sovereignty, and trust. And yet, this passport is being sold like a product by private actors on behalf of our government. And the proceeds are being sent to offshore accounts, not into our consolidated fund, not into our treasury. This is what I call, one more time, a public oxymoron. A public good being sold privately, a national asset enriching foreigners, a sovereign state acting like a private brokerage. Developers continue to ignore the legislated price, and the revenue is still being diverted right under our nose. And this didn't start yesterday. My Straight Talk family, SIDF, I said, was introduced, but selling our passports. Could you imagine that? Then belatedly, the infamous prison project launched under the AIO, which caused a major rift in team unity. Allegations were flying left, right, and center, and our third prime minister became the center of a storm of mistrust. It didn't stop there. The scandal surrounded MSR Media and its principal, Philippe Martinez, who entered the Federation via Nevis with assistance from Mark Brantley and the NIA in 2020. Martinez has since that time produced 7 or 8 movies, but he has also filed a judicial review against our Prime Minister, Terence Michael Drew. My Straight Talk family, he has filed this review.
What is the judicial review? And why did MSR file the judicial review? MSR makes no money, not even $1, not even the reimbursement of our legal costs to do that lawsuit. MSR have been saying what is now common knowledge all over the Caribbean, that a fraud took place in the citizenship by investment program.
My Straight Talk family, the Attorney General, believe it or not, failed, but he tried to strike out that judicial review. MSR also filed a whistleblower complaint with the United States Department of Justice and with FinCEN, my straight dog family.
That my American lawyers in Washington have filed a 32-page document, which is a whistleblower complaint at the U.S. Department of Justice and at FinCEN, which is the financial crime network in the United States. And therefore, there are things that I can say and things that I cannot say.
And my straight dog family, and most explosively, MSR claimed to have statements from the Bank of America and accounts of some players, my straight dog family.
Early in January, a miracle happened, and my American lawyer, pursuant to the court order that we won in Florida, received all the bank transaction of all these people from Bank of America. I repeat, MSR Media is now in possession of all bank transaction for Caribbean Galaxy, Ying Jing, Denzel Douglas, Timothy Harris, CS Global Partner, Farron Lawrence and his company, Sylvester Anthony.
Our third Prime Minister, Timothy Harris, however, declared publicly that he holds no foreign accounts. My straight dog family, he said this.
They thought that they would find something to use against me. You cannot govern with a political vendetta. You must put the national interest first. They failed. And while they were looking for foreign accounts for Timothy Harris, and me ain't got none, me a poor man from Tabernacle, never open an account there. They succeeded in embarrassing themselves.
So my straight dog family, the third Prime Minister has made his declaration. We have heard nothing from Sylvester Anthony, Douglas, and only silence from Terence Michael Jew. We have a government of silence in a time of crisis. Meanwhile, the threat looms larger than ever. The US and European Union are reportedly preparing to impose visa and travel restrictions on St. Kitts and Nevis and OASIS nations due to CBI abuse. To preempt this, Prime Minister Jew and other regional leaders have floated a residency requirement, 30 days over 5 years. But is that enough to satisfy the EU, the US, or the world? Or is this just another band-aid on a broken system? Why are PM Jew and Attorney General Wilkins so quiet now? Did they receive bad news from Washington or from Brussels? Whatever the reason, one thing is clear. We now have a government of silence. Meantime, 4 new public benefit options, projects, are being used to bypass procurement laws and divert revenue away from the Treasury. Yes, just like SIDF under Douglas, except now it's on a bigger scale. Every time a passport is sold under the PBO, a foreign benefactor collects the money. The government receives a small fraction and the Treasury is sidelined. I have listed the projects, all being funded through this backdoor channel. And we asked Dr. Duke, where is the money? Is it in offshore accounts? Do you have offshore accounts, Dr. Duke? Who is tracking the money? Who benefits? Remember, Jew himself called the prison project criminal while in opposition. Now in power, Terence Michael Jew is funding the same model with even less oversight. But let's reflect. 1984, 2006, 2015, and 2022, and now in 2025, we face the same old issues, except that they are bigger, deeper, and more dangerous. Money laundering, corruption, fraud, lack of transparency, no accountability, and still no answers, my straight dog family. Is Capis Bass Global Limited jointly owned by the so-called engineer and his wife? Is Capis Bass Global Limited a co-conspirator of the fraud that has deprived the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis out of billions of dollars? My people, enough is enough. And I saw a documentary with the former CEO of the CIU, SKN. And I concluded that some people in St. Kitts should be in jail. From what I saw, as well convinced me that no corporatization of the CIU, along with the hand-picked appointment of Drew's special envoy, now executive chairman Calvin Joss, will convince me that things have changed. On the smooth-talking chairman St. Joss and his board of governors, we continue to repeat this cycle, my straight dog family. Our passport continues to be a plaything for foreign interests. We allow the CIU, by extension the government, to keep the people in the dark while developers live in the light. We must therefore demand full transparency, require that all CBI money enters the treasury as per the new legislation, end the abuse of public benefit projects for private gain, end the underselling, Mr. St. Joss, protect our global reputation, and secure our right to travel. It's time for a new chapter, one of accountability, integrity, moral justice, and real leadership. Let's write it together and break this cycle of thief from thief in the SKN-CBI that'll make God laugh. That's my story tonight, my straight dog family, and I am not going to change it. I will include your calls and your emails. And as I always do, I wish to implore you to respect others. And to achieve that, of course, you must first respect yourselves. Let's just try to be fair to all concerned, and let's just try to build goodwill and better friendships. And let's, in the process of doing and saying those things, let's just strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. At 9:17, I tarried a little long tonight, my straight dog family. I wanted to make certain we get those facts out. Caller, I thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Good night. Yes, good night, Brother Patches.
Good night, sir.
Good night to all the listeners. My name is Winston Welcome. And Brother Patches, throughout my time and my conviction of jumping into this upcoming election, it is because of you. Because I was convinced and convicted by you. So I'm holding you responsible. You'll be responsible for me. Now, as I listen to you tonight, and I've listened to you from beginning until tonight, the facts that you outlaid, I believe. But say one, say two. You started out from Douglas. Can we say Douglas do the Federation ill? That's a question. Can we say after Douglas was Harris? Can we say Harris does the Federation ill? And the current Prime Minister, can we say Dr. Drew and his administration done the Federation ill? I will assume, but I will rather you make the answer. And you will make you can say what you after I said. I believe all of them done the country ill, and all of them have the same headlines of thieving. Okay, they stole from the CBI. They use the treasury money to do their personal things. And why should we give any of those a chance to come back, to do it again, to thief again, to hurt the country again? I said no, hell no. You done it. What's going to make you change? What's going to make you not do it again if you try to come in? And to whom it may concern, okay? I am not favor the ill that the country has gotten. And the people in St. Kitts and Nevis have to wake up. No second chance for none of them. And I'm saying it passionately. Let the new leaders of this country rise up and we give them a chance. None of them have failed, but those that we have now are still trying to get in. They have failed us. Okay? And as far as I'm concerned, they should go to jail as long as they've been convicted, as long as there is a legitimate trial for all of them. None shall be escaped. No stone shall be unturned. All who are involved in this kleptocratic behavior, they all should go on trial, and serious trial.
Okay.
No Caribbean leaders has gone to prison or convicted for the crimes that they commit. But this St. Kitts one here, should I get a chance? I'm not favoring no one.
Okay.
Okay? It should be put aside. And I can't fathom with the fact that people are rallying these thief again to come back in. Okay? I don't want the thief who stole and the thief that she neither. Who to whom it may concern. And I'm going to be blunt.
Okay.
We don't want to. So when you call out one, you got to call out all.
Okay.
And give jacket.
Okay, I got you loud and clear, my brother.
I will leave there and I will come back again for others.
Thank you very much. We go back to the lines and I thank this caller for holding caller. You're live. Hello.
Good night, Mr. Liburd. Good night, Mr. Liburd.
Good night, my dear. How are you?
I'm great. The quote. It's always the ones with dirty hands pointing their fingers.
It's always the one with dirty hands pointing their fingers?
Yes, but the robber that smiles steals something from the thief.
Dirty hands pointing their fingers. But the robber that smiles steals something from the thief. But the robber that smiles steals something from the thief.
Steals something from the thief.
Robber that smiles steals something from the thief. Okay?
Okay, I repeat. It's always the ones with dirty hands pointing their fingers, but the robber that smiles steals something from the thief. Have a great evening.
Have a great evening as well. Yeah, very interesting quotation. We go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Liburd. How you doing tonight, man? Good evening to you and the listeners home and abroad.
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. It's very sad. It's heartbreaking. It's very disappointing to just listen to you tonight. I just hope the people, the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, home and abroad, are opening their ears and I hope they hear exactly what you said tonight. All of those players that was involved with that CBI, even they have some local lawyers on the ground, they have made a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
We, the citizens, we don't even have the idea of what amount of money they made out of that CBI program. Patches, somebody or persons are going to suffer. And that what I seen is that the citizens is suffering from the mismanagement of that money. That money went everywhere else, like you said tonight, except coming home into, is that the SIDF fund?
Consolidated.
Or the consolidated fund. Consolidated fund, yes. The treasury, consolidated fund. Yeah, stand corrected. Yeah. So when you look at this, man, 41 years this year, they've been running that program. This program was once a platinum program. And when that money was coming in, the persons in control, they did not see it fit to let some of that money trickle down to the citizens. This is our national asset. And the next election is going to decide something critical for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. We're at a crossroad. And if the citizens cannot set this country right and we continue down this path, I am sorry for St. Kitts and Nevis. I'm sorry to say that tonight.
Okay.
We are going to suck some serious salt there on the ground. And I want to just big up the guy, Welcome, who's making an attempt to help educate the people. And I'm doing my best on here. And lastly, before I get off, as we listen to you tonight, Patches, I am not the one for you or anybody else on the ground to trust. I am not the one that's telling all of these lies. The players have told the Federation so many lies. They don't want to be transparent. And the people has lost that. The public has the politicians, let me put it this way. The politicians, especially the ones of today, they have lost the public trust. And the next election, I hope, can get that straightened out.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, man. You guys have a good night.
Thanks a lot as well. We're going to go back to the lines, but just to make this comment, it's really baffling that everyone on the line, everyone in the program who participated in the program, whether you're a service provider or whoever, everyone is making more money than the government. And that is what's baffling to me. Caller, I want to thank you for holding your life.
Pleasant. Good evening to you.
Good evening, my dear.
How are you?
I am peaceful. That voice sounds familiar. Oh, it's the lady with the dimples, isn't she? How are you?
Yes.
Congratulations. I saw you got an awards for Mother of the Year, was it? What was it?
Thank you.
Congratulations. You deserve everything.
Everything. Thank you. Yes. That is what I call you to. Oh, I just have to go check out some things for me. I would like to know who built the $22 million mansion in St. Are private contractors or people coming from overseas? I would like to know that.
Which mansion? You mean the central bank?
The $22 million, yes.
Well, Lennox Warner, that I know is the contractor. It's a local.
Yeah, in St.
Yes.
In St.
Lennox Warner, yes.
And he can build a $22 million mansion. So, one little house where you can't even put in 2 beds in. They're going to bring people from overseas to build them for Paris. And what they want them to do, to make the bedroom them much smaller than how they done be? Is that why they bring them in here? If they take this amount of money, they may not know how much money they take. So you have to take it outside and share it up outside. Mm-hmm. And that's the next thing that I want to think out from you. I'm going to help you pay for it, eh?
Yeah.
A drone. A drone. A drone.
A drone, you want
the thing when you slow a drone, yes, because I will need to understand that there were 9 new ambulance and the way. So I will let the drone to go and check them out to see if they knew, just like the 15 machine, what they had bringing. So I will help you pay for the drone, just to get them check out to see if they did new, like the 15 machine. But they had bringing here and said that they're brand new.
I'll help you pay for it if you don't fly over Big Nights. Stay far from Big Nights. You know, shoot it down, okay?
Oh my God, well, you're going to have to get something to find out definitely if they new brand, because everything new brand.
I think they said they were getting some second-hand ones, you know, because the new ones weren't available. Is that what you said? No?
I heard a thing on top of the radio.
Oh, you did? Okay.
One of them man on the radio said yesterday that we getting nine
ambulances.
brand new
Okay.
ambulances.
Okay.
Yes, so that's the reason I said to get a drone and check them out for me.
Okay.
Let me see if they're brand new or the machine them what come in the 15 machine.
Okay, my dear. I'll be guided.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do that for me.
Okay,
please.
Thanks a lot for your intervention.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Have a blessed night. If I get back in, I have something else to say.
Okay, my dear. Thanks a lot for your contribution. As usual, we go back to the lines and say good night to this caller. It's 9:30 to the bottom of the hour. Ready? Caller, you live.
Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night, Mr. Liburd. How are you?
I am peaceful.
Okay.
Kalikwan's aunt.
Yes, yes, you don't know my voice. Just as that, you don't know my voice.
You have a
Mr.
special voice,
Liburd. Yes. What I couldn't get in, but thank God I get in the early. Every time you see a Thursday night come, I have the shivering. Every time a Thursday night come, I have the shivering. My brother, my inspector brother, listen to me good, my inspector brother, he was in the force 1995. Check those years. That maybe 30 years. And up to now, this commissioner, up to now, he cannot give my brother justice. They have my brother like some little pepper, little boy. You know? Because he's a inspector. Up to now, Mr. Liburd, and have the policeman out there still working and still wearing the government clothes. And up to now, he cannot give my brother justice. I think, Mr. Liburd, listen me good. Those crazy injection they're giving those people out there. I believe the commissioner wants one. I believe he wants one tonight to shake him up. Because he have the right in his hand to give my brother his justice and play blind to it. And he's not right in the sight of God, you know. He's not right in the sight of
Can
God.
I ask you a question? I know you've been a strong advocate for your nephew, right?
That's right.
Perhaps you can tell me perhaps send me an email. How can I contact your brother? Would you be willing to speak with me, even off the record?
I think maybe I'm too.
You know what? He doesn't have to go on the record, really.
I think I'm gonna send you his number.
I'll be grateful.
I'm gonna send you his number when I don't speak to you.
Okay,
so how I must get it through that you could get it.
Well, you can what was it? You have the email. I have the email address, right?
If I have an email address,
you have the email address for the program.
Yes, I think I will find it.
It's on the screen. It's straighttalkpatches@gmail.com.
Yes, I'll do that.
It's on your screen. Yeah.
I'll do that. Every obviously Thursday night come, my mind go out and my brother child. It's twice he run on him twice. And up to now, no justice my brother could get. And the man still out there working. Officer Jeffords tonight, when I done with my Bible and him, and also the commissioner, when I done with them with my Bible, when I lift up this tongue, Mr. Liburd, I'm gonna attack them. I think the commissioner need that crazy injection tonight. Wherever he be, he want it. He play with my brother child and a dog. How did he continue to knock me brother child and when I go tell this commissioner whether that the force is not for the commissioner. The force is too big for him. He cannot deal with the post. He needs to come out of the post here and give somebody who was serious with the post. I think you need a crazy injection by the people out there and the street who shake him up.
Okay.
And nonsense here though.
Okay, I got you loud and clear. So give me that information, I'll be grateful. Okay?
Yes, baby, I'll do that now.
Okay, thanks a lot for
yes, okay.
Thanks a lot. And we've been hearing this all the time, coming from this lady, and I would really like to get to the bottom of that, because unless someone else needs that crazy injection, like you said, we have to take this seriously. So I'm trying to get this email open here. Stand by caller. I'm trying to access my email here. Why is this email not coming up? Let's go back to the lines. Caller. Thank you for holding your line. Hello, caller.
Yeah, yes, Patrick. Greetings, Rascolongi.
Greetings, my brother.
And I want to give a shout out to you and all your listening audience.
Thank you.
Here in the Federation and those listening via the World Wide Web. Now, your program is very interesting tonight. And as I always say, all us is Tief. It's time for us to stop Tief.
You talk for yourself, talk for yourself.
Okay, then. Men excluding myself from our people.
Hey, no,
what I'm saying.
No, you got to say that I am a thief. You can't say all us is thief.
all us is thief. Hear this now. Yeah. But the process, that's the way how capitalism works.
Oh my.
That's how finance capitalism works.
Okay.
Oh. You make money from an asset.
Okay.
Turn it into a commodity.
Okay. So shouldn't government make money from the asset instead of people?
Say that again?
Shouldn't the government make the money from the asset and not everybody else?
Yeah, I agree. But what I'm saying, the government and we is the junior partners in this situation because, for instance, the administration have changed the program. You see what I'm saying? No, listen this now. Hear what I'm saying to you, right? Is that I agree with all what you're saying here. This thing should be cleaned up. But what I'm trying to show you, look at the Epstein files. When Mr. Trump don't release the Epstein files. So what I'm saying, you're talking about the Justice Department and money laundering and all these things. These guys is doing the same thing we're doing. Did I tell you already, the pot calling the kettle black? And what I'm trying to show you, the way how the system was set up, as Dougie talk about a private fund. The models that they use come from the metropolitan countries. That's the point I'm making to you all the time. We are following their model. Now when we stop following the model now, and say, look here, look in the Sahel state, you gotta stop rippers out. Look at France. France getting uranium from Niger for next to nothing. The uranium is selling on the world market for 200 euros. France was getting it for cents. And when they stop it now, when General Tiani stop it now, the ball foul and say he's a dictator and he's this and he's that. It's the same situation we're in. So all I'm saying to you, my brother, that we got to get the house in order. I told the Prime Minister that today on the radio. We got to sit down and atone for our sins.
Were you told that? Is it?
The Prime Minister.
Okay, he was on radio today.
Just what I'm telling you now. That's what I'm telling him today.
Okay. What he said?
You see? No, but I'm just showing you, but all I'm saying to you, right, is that we're in serious problem, my brethren.
Yes, we are.
The world is at a crisis, right? And what is happening globally is affecting us. So we can't continue the pot calling the kettle black politics. We're going to damage ourselves.
Yeah, but you sometimes confuse me, and I'm sure you confuse a lot of the listeners. I mean, no disrespect.
How confusing you?
No disrespect with you. We're talking here about the CBI and trying to clean up the CBI. All right? We have an asset. You'll say our passport is an asset, right? Would you?
Yes.
And people don't like to say it's been sold, but it's sold, right? It is sold as a commodity. But the real issue, and I've looked at it, and even as one who himself in the cabinet, it didn't come home to me until just recently that after all these years, everybody makes more money on the asset than the government.
Exactly.
How would we change that? That's what I want you to tell me. Don't tell me about the U.S. Charity begins at home. Let's start here. How do we change that?
But but the point I'm making, Touches, the point I'm making, the same people who say we're doing bad, doing the same thing. I'm not saying we're correct.
But two wrongs don't make a right.
I agree, but the point I'm making, the model that we're following is from them.
Yeah, but if you say it's bad, so why don't we break out from the bad model and
But that's what I'm saying. That's why we have to repent.
But just saying repent don't.
No, when I say repent, we gotta mean it. That's why I say I gotta repent.
How do you repent? I mean, the issue is with here you have a passport. Here you have a public benefit option. We understand. Let's get current. The Robert Bradshaw Llewellyn Airport expansion. Although the Prime Minister told a lie, but he only gave 60 shares. He's lying. They're out there selling, and we understand that there are 3,000 shares approved for that project. 3,000 shares would equate to $750 million US if they sell at the legislated price. The airport construction cost, we understand, is $100 US or $120 US. So where does the $630 million go? That's the question we're asking. Don't tell me out there what happened. Tell me how we deal with that.
And that's a good question. That's what I'm saying, that we got to stop doing these wrong things.
So how do we stop it? That's what I'm asking you.
We got to hear what I'm saying.
Soon you're going to tell me about Burkina Faso and Traore, right? Let's start at home here. How are we going to change that?
Hear what I'm saying. The 7 principles of Panza. We have to sit down as a nation, right? And trash out with contradictions and come up with a program. This is what we're dealing with. We operate in our own rules. And if you break the rules, then you're against us.
Okay, my brother.
Clear, my brother.
I got you.
Okay then. I mean, come on, man. It's straightforward.
I don't know if it's as straightforward as you're saying it, but let's agree.
So as I said, okay.
Yeah.
As a Rasta man, right? I saw it. What you want to tell me? I should be eating pork and doing all kind of mummoness? That means living up to what I say.
Okay, my brother. Okay. Don't eat the pork.
That's the point.
Don't eat the pork, my brother. I'll show you.
Okay, then.
Okay.
Yes, okay, bless. Cool.
Yourself a wonderful night. Ras Kalunji. Patches, good night. Reads this email. Well. Labour ain't plan to change. Well, Marsha acting as if she turned Pam. Now, Patches, would you believe Marsha gone to Jamaica with a very highly politicized Pam activist who works in her office? Well, Patches, what they gone to Jamaica to do? And what meaningful substance are they bringing back? So Marsha is just so you're slapping your die-hard Labour supporters. Patches, that ain't bad. She gone with a very high-profile ex-commissioner of police too. What does he has to do with Marsha and her ministry? Does he have something over Marsha's head that she's afraid to be leaking? Well, school children has it that it is her newly found other half. This is the same ex-commissioner of police who was leaking confidential information from the police force. Same ex-commissioner of police who was and is still highly corrupt. And Marsha knows all of this, but she still opened her arms welcoming him. Imagine Marsha has Little Bo P and the one who used to be a traffic warden who stands in her corner and skip over them and walk with all Pam supporters. That speaks volumes. Well, Patches, they were not pleased, so the streets have it that they curse out Marsha's sting. But we ain't sorry for them because they does boast and say they minister this and they minister that. But she ain't have them nowhere. So my question to Marsha tonight is, will you ask Little Bo P and the ex-traffic warden to campaign for you and help you to win the central next election? I bet you, Marshall, wet your hands and wait for them. Thank you, Patches, reads this email. Please have that lady stop disrespecting the police commissioner like that week after week. Can't her inspector brother speak for himself? He right under the commissioner's nose. Well, I don't know what disrespect to the police. I don't know. We don't tolerate. I don't agree that there is no disrespect to the police commissioner. The lady is speaking. She's very passionate about what she's saying, and she has a view. And on Straight Talk, we tell it like it is. It's 9:44, my Straight Talk family. And if you have just joined me, we looked at the thesis tonight. Thief from Thief. No, let me get that right. Thief from Tief in the SKN-CBI and make God laugh. And that is our thesis for tonight. And if you have joined me belatedly, we examine our passport that's been sold under the Citizenship by Investment program. The point we tried to make is that our passport is more than a commodity. It is a commitment to values, to security, and to citizenship. It must be a passport of purpose, not profit. And if we call ourselves a sovereign nation, then we must act as one. Let's just stop being ashamed of our success and start being proud of our integrity. We suggest that we need to fix the CBI program, bring transparency into the program for once. Let us protect the consolidated fund, the treasury, and let us finally ensure that our passport pays its true owner, to wit the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. I told you about the saying I heard growing up, and I'm sure many of you will remember that saying used by our grandparents or parents in some cases. Thief from Tief, make God laugh. It sounds funny at first, but I submit that today in 2025, it perfectly captures the heartbreaking truth of what's happening in our country. Because the foreign developers and self-proclaimed benefactors walk away with millions of dollars. And while they do, the people of this federation are left with crumbs. And worse yet, with the burden of suspicion, scandal, and international shame. Our passport is not gold, but it is ours. It is a symbol of identity, sovereignty, and trust. And yet, our passport is being sold like a product by private actors on behalf of our government. And the proceeds are being sent off or sent to offshore companies, my Straight Dog family. And we have in a cabinet, my Straight Dog family, we have in a cabinet the soccer engineer. The soccer engineer is co-owner of this company that sells passports as well. Capis Bass Global Limited. And we are asking the soccer engineer tonight, soccer engineer, we are asking you the question tonight, and we want an answer from you. Is Capis Bass Global Limited, a co-conspirator of the fraud that has deprived the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis out of billions of dollars. Soca engineer, that's the question we're asking you. Because your company benefits, no doubt, from the millions that pass through this program. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, thank you again for the patches. I need to speak to Kaliko and Ant.
Wait.
I don't know your name.
Yeah, but why are you going there? Why are you going there, really?
No, I'm not going.
I don't want to create any bad blood here.
No. I'm not creating any badness. Patches
Please don't. Yeah.
She is crying over justice, and she is not getting any justice. I will give you a clue. Take it up on your own and draft up a summons and complaint with your charges. You could process your case if you're not going to get the government to help you. If you're not going to get the commissioner or a lawyer going to go against the government. That is called process, self-represented. Get your evidence and your facts and make your argument. You will be allowed to be heard. You are a family member. You sustain a great loss. And you need justice. Sometimes we have to seek our own justice. So if you depend on the authorities going to go against themselves, probably you're going to wait long. So take a try. Why not? I wish I could help you draft up a summons and subpoena and all your counts against the government because it's the municipal. Thank you for hearing me. I hope I'm sound and I hope I'm satisfied my perspective and my contribution. Thank you for hearing me. Bye for now.
Sound contribution, lawyer, welcome. It's 9 before the 10 o'clock hour, and Straight Talk family. And as I said earlier, do we have someone on the line? What's going on here? Okay, yes. Yes, as I said before, my Straight Talk family, the Felipe Martinez, as I said earlier, let's take this call, I'll come back to that. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, Mr. Liburd. Good night.
Good night, my brother.
I'm here listening to your program. Right?
You have a lot of noise in your... Yeah, but get away, move away from your equipment, can you?
Yes, we are calling Tief.
Caller, just listen to me for a moment, can you? Just listen to me for one moment, can you? You have a terrible feedback in your telephone.
Yeah, I'm not there to the radio. I'm not there to the phone or music. I'm not there to it.
Where are you getting that feedback?
A shop in front of me.
A shop?
Yeah, there's a shop in front of me.
We can hardly hear you. I mean, the listeners won't be able to hear you.
Yeah, the first caller made some accusation that didn't like.
What?
That Dr. Douglas, Dr. Timothy Harris, and the administration. And if we have to get into office, we have to hold those three accountable for stealing. And we need to give him a chance and he is correct. Yes, he false. But I would like to know from him, if he gets into office, what are you going to do? You was in Dr. Timothy's administration. Did you find him to be a thief? Did you find him doing wrong things? That's a question I'd like to ask.
My brother, I don't think... we can't hear you really, right? So unless you can rectify this, we're going to have to end the call. Whatever it is with the shop, you're getting a terrible feedback. I mean, the listeners won't be able to hear what you're saying. It's getting this feedback in your phone. Isn't it something you can do?
when you was in Dr. Timothy.
I am not, you're not listening to me. I'm saying we're not hearing what you're saying. We're getting a terrible feedback in your telephone. Are you there?
I'll call back.
Yeah, please call back. Because I'm sorry, we're not really hearing that caller. Whatever is the problem, he's close to something and getting us a terrible feedback. It's not good to the ears, I'm sure. Steal something from Thief. Yes, my Straight Dog family, it's 6 minutes before the 10 o'clock hour. And we are winding down tonight's program. And we looked at our thesis tonight, which, if you have joined me late, we titled Thief from Tief in the SKN-CBI and make God laugh. And our quotation for tonight, it's always the ones with the dirty hands pointing their fingers, but the robbers steal something from the thief. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Mr. Patrick.
Good night, sir.
How are you, sir?
The Bible man, I am peaceful. Yourself?
I can tell you something tonight, right? And I am not going to stay too long. Maybe a minute time. I do. Here, we are living in a world that only God rules this whole universe. And we are living in the last and closing days time. And all I have to say tonight over this straight talk, Jesus will tell Nicodemus, you must be born again. Except you repent, you shall always perish. And I am going to say this over straight talk. No care what happens, if the people don't turn away from their wicked ways and accept Jesus as their Lord and personal loving Savior, the end going to be the doom. And the last thing I am going to say is that appointment unto man.
Once die.
You hear that? It is appointed unto man once to die.
Yep.
But after that, it is judgment. You bring nothing in the world and you can't carry out nothing. Okay. Good night, Mr. Patrick. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Mr. Bibleman. Thank you. And you must also add that we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ. And we can't call no witnesses either. We have to appear by ourselves. And we just maybe recompense for the things that we have done. And as we wind down tonight's program, and we looked at our thesis, Thief from Tief, in the SKN-CBI, and make God laugh. We made the point tonight that from 1984, 40 years and counting, we have a program, the oldest. But we've had some issues for well over 30 years, the same issues. the same contradiction. And when I think of the public projects, I think of the public benefit option introduced by the Terence Michael Drew administration, like the Basel High School, the RLB Airport expansion, the Prime Creative Arts Center, which are being funded by the sale of our passports. Yet all the approved benefactors are foreigners. I spoke to you about the housing. Can locals build houses? You have good local contractors. You can pump the same $10 million into one of these companies and they build good houses as well. But locals are excluded from the profit pool. Revenue is not transparently going into the treasury. So tell me, is this public benefit or public betrayal? We cannot continue like this. The passport belongs to the people of St. Kitts Nevis, not developers in Dubai, not consultants in London, not law firms in Singapore. We need a new deal, is what I submit tonight. One where 100% of passport revenue flows through the consolidated fund, flows to the treasury. One where the government, the representative of the people, sets the rules and keeps the revenue. One where no private person or foreign entity earns more than the people themselves. One where local entrepreneurs and citizens are included in nation building projects, not left watching from the sidelines. We must end this public-private shell game where the national asset pays everyone except the people it belongs. We heard Martinez said he subpoenaed some accounts, some bank accounts, and he has them. Is it true? He said this.
Early in January, a miracle happened, and my American lawyer, pursuant to the court order that we won in Florida, received all the bank transaction of all these people from Bank of America. I repeat, MSR Media is now in possession of all bank transactions for Caribbean Galaxy, Ying Jing, Denzel Douglas, Timothy Harris, CS Global Partner, Farron Lawrence and his company, Sylvester Anthony.
But Timothy Harris has said otherwise. Just on Saturday last week, Harris said this.
They thought that they would find something to use against me. You cannot govern with a political vendetta. You must put the national interest first. They failed. And while they were looking for foreign accounts for Timothy Harris, and me ain't got none, me a poor man from Tabernacle, never open an account there. They succeeded in embarrassing themselves.
A poor man from Tabernacle, says the third Prime Minister, never had a foreign account. But as told you from the beginning, my Straight Talk family, about the saying I heard growing up. One many of you will remember, I'm sure, from your own parents and our grandparents. Tief from Tief, make God laugh. It sounds funny at first, but today, in 2025, it perfectly captures the heartbreaking truth of what's happening in our country. Because while foreign developers and self-proclaimed benefactors walk away with millions of dollars, the people of this federation are left with crumbs. And worse yet, with the burden of suspicion, scandal, and international shame. Our passport is a national asset. It is not oil. As I said before, it is not gold, but it belongs to us. It's ours. A symbol of identity, sovereignty, and trust. And yet, this passport is being sold like a product by private actors on behalf of our government. And the proceeds are being sent to offshore accounts and not to the treasury. This is what I call tonight a public oxymoron. A public good being sold privately. A national asset enriching foreigners. A sovereign state acting like a private brokerage. Developers continue to ignore the legislated price, and the revenue is still being diverted right under our nose. And this didn't start yesterday. I told you I saw a documentary in which the former CEO of the CIU, SKN, spoke some sordid things. And if you ask me, I believe that some people should be in jail. Remember when Jew himself called the prison project criminal? But he's in power now. He signed the most passports, the most CORs. Over 20,000 he signed. There has been a 40-year pattern of silence and scandal, my people. Let's reflect in closing. In 1984, the CBI program was born. From the beginning, there were questions. In 2006, the program nearly collapsed under blacklisting and visa losses. In 2015, reforms started, but radically changed in 2022. Now, in 2025, we face the same old issues, except that they are bigger, deeper, and more dangerous. Money laundering, corruption, fraud, lack of transparency, and no accountability. And I'm going to ask this question for the last time tonight. Because the so-called engineer sits in cabinet. You see him in the parliament. Like he can beat up everybody. But I asked him the question tonight, so-called engineer Conris, is Capis Bass Global a co-conspirator of the fraud that has deprived the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis out of billions of dollars? You are a co-owner, a co-director in this company, Capis and Bass Global Limited. Is this company a co-conspirator of the fraud that has deprived the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis out of billions of dollars? There are many more I will out. But my people, I conclude tonight that enough is enough. after seeing that documentary with the former CEO of the CIU, as I said, I concluded that some people in St. Kitts should be in jail. From what I saw as well convinced me that no corporatization of the CIU, along with the hand-picked appointment of Drew's special envoy, now Executive Chairman Calvin St. Just, none will convince me that things have changed. Under the smooth-talking chairman, Executive Chairman St. Just, and his board of governors, we continue to repeat this cycle. Our passport continues to be a plaything for foreign interests. We allow the CIU, and by extension the government, to keep the people in the dark while the developers live in the lights. Demand full transparency. End the abuse of public benefit options for private gain. End the underselling, Chairman St. Just. Protect our global reputation and secure our right to travel. How many more days are available? Many people are on the edge because of this.
Just following up on that, there was a deadline given for these 36 countries tomorrow to come up with their action plan. I wonder if you've heard back.
No, that's incorrect. I can just tell you that that's not correct. The fact is that they will have a considerable amount of time to rectify whatever the situation is that the State Department has determined is affecting the nature of our trust in how we issue a visa.
Have you rectified the issues raised by the State Department, Terence Drew, and Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin? You have gone quiet. It's time, as I close, for a new chapter, one of accountability, integrity, moral justice, and real leadership. Let us write together and break this cycle of thief from thief in the SKN-CBI that make God laugh. And that's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I am not going to change it. I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight. As always, I want to thank you, the many viewers, my Straight Talk family, and those of you who sent emails and those of you who called. Remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that I say a big, big thank you. As my quotation says, I'll leave it with you. It's always the one with the dirty hands pointing their fingers, but the robbers steal something from the thief. My Straight Talk family, when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. Until we connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. And remember, as I said, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you must believe. So have yourselves a wonderful weekend, my Straight Talk family. Until we connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect then.
When I wake in the morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praise.